Hello, hello, hello. Let me know if you can see and hear me okay. This is going to be a group energy healing where I heal. Let me see. I believe it's, make sure. Yeah, 128 people in 10 different countries, including 99 people in the US, 6 people in the United Arab Emirates, 5 in the UK, 5 in Qatar, 5 in Canada, 3 in Ukraine, 2 in South Korea, 1 in Norway, 1 in Germany, and 1 in Japan. So hello, hello, hello to everybody that I'm about to be healing. Because you purchased this set on my website, jwhealing.com. And for those of you that didn't get it together to purchase in time or just for whatever reason chose not to, you are also welcome to watch and heal yourself as you watch. Anyone, even if I'm healing you, you can also heal yourself at the same time. Some people enjoy that. So I will, during the healing part, I'll say what I do as I'm doing it. So it is an all levels self-healing walkthrough in a way. Although my focus will be mostly on just doing the best job I can as a healer for the people that purchase the healing. I did just finish, thank you for my confirmation, and a unicorn emoji. Oh, you're spoiling me. I did just finish a live stream, a quick live stream. I think it was 16 minutes long. An experienced version of the 5 essentials. So for my veterans who tire of my ceaseless explaining, you now have a walkthrough in the short video playlist, and also it'll be in the playlist for this month's videos. Called Experienced Version 5 Essentials, and also it has clear STEBs in it too. So nice little get yourself situated in 17 minutes, wham bam, have a great day. Thank you for my confirmation. Okay, so today, well, okay, this month, the theme that we're working is sort of a two-sided theme in a way. Heal emotions and sexuality. And clear denial to inspire progress. But for this twin set, I'm going to kind of reform those same themes, but put the emphasis in a little bit of a different place. So this twin set, you know, because we already did the theme that way, you know, heal emotions and sexuality, clear denial to inspire progress. And we also cleared repression a lot in the third healing of the triplet set. That was cool. But I want these two healings to do that stuff, but focus a bit on like this year. We just had the Lunar New Year a day or two ago, and it's the year of the firehorse, which is supposed to be like, and I don't know almost anything about astrology, but I do know it's like for bold changes. And the firehorse concept, which is this particular Lunar New Year, is the year of the firehorse, apparently. But it does line up with what I see about how there is pretty much, I think maybe it's 50% the Lunar New Year and that vibe, and then 50% other astrological factors that I don't really need to understand, that create a time period of faster positive change that is possible and likely in the rest of this year. So like from now through 2026, so faster positive change. And the angels had been hinting on that like late last year. Not that, okay, that's what this year is going to be about, but they had me work being open to faster positive change a couple times late last year, I remember. But anyway, so that's going to be the gist of this twin set is, can you allow faster positive change? Can you clear your resistance, clear enough baggage so that you not only like are accepting of it, but you enjoy this faster positive change and can make the most of it, as opposed to like kicking and screaming like, no, anything but that, no. Because from what I can see, it's going to happen anyway, one way or another. And so you either make the most of it or you try to fight against it sort of in vain, and get a lot of needless stress by trying to fight against a pattern that is going to happen anyway, around you. So, I'm not an expert at reading the future, but sometimes the angels do kind of, beat something through to me, like, you must say this, and it does regard the future. So, whatever. Take it with a huge grain of salt. I'm not like, I'm known professionally for really accurate chakra reading and aura reading and repair and all that. I'm not known, as a professional. I'm not famous for future reading or anything. So whatever. Take it within that context. But yeah, so it's like, if you imagine the faster positive change, like the image the angels keep showing me is this gold flowing river that is like your inner potential for faster positive change. And then because of baggage, there could be little mini-U's that are fighting against that, your own inner potential for faster positive change. And so those inner mini-U's that are like anti-change, most resistant to faster positive change, we're going to heal those today and on Sunday in the second healing, in this set of 2 healings. So we're going to kind of liberate the most resistant mini-U's from their prisons of whatever baggage is trapping them in resistance. And for some people it's resistance, for some people it's fear or shame or emotional baggage, sexual trauma baggage, whatever. So we'll just be doing a lot of work like rescuing those parts of you so that you can kind of fully align with your own, gold flowing vibe of faster positive change. Not that you need to match anybody else or anything. So, and it's to the extent, of course, that's healthy and gentle for you. People are different parts of their lives. People have different responsibilities in their life, whatever. So it's not like your amount of faster positive change would be the same as everybody else's. It's just, if you align to your inner vibration of faster positive change, then I think you're all set for making the most of this Lunar New Year, or which is mostly just 2026 plus a little extra maybe. So that's the concept that we're working today. A lot of like heal mini-U stuff. Heal also somebody maybe accidentally made me aware of, like, you can have parts of you that are really anti-joy. And like they actively work to like suppress your own joy and your own playfulness. And those anti-joy parts of you could be because of your own trauma that you've been through, and so we'll heal those parts of you. But it could also, it's even more likely to be from people that have oppressed you. So it's not exactly like your stored trauma. It's the energy of the oppressor that you've internalized. And so you are oppressing yourself and your own joy. So we'll like liberate those parts of you so that you can enjoy more lightness, you know. And for some people that will literally be like, you know, laughing and whatever, and other people it will just feel more like serenity and safety. But just joy, because joy, I don't think it has to be the same for everybody. You know, like what you enjoy could be solitude, you know, and what someone else enjoys could be, you know, some highly social behavior. So, but you know, so we'll heal the most joyless parts of you, you know, both as a way to restore you and to eject people's energy within you that might be oppressing you. Woo! Oh, right. So I'm going to go check comments. Oh, you know what? We'll do a quick sales note. So that is my website, jwhealing.com. And April sets just went on sale recently. And that is I think it's one of those sexy themes that people like. It's more obvious to people like, oh my God, I really need that, as opposed to like this month, which I thought would be like, I don't pick a theme because it's sexy. I pick a theme because I feel like people need it, and the angels say that's what you're doing. And you know, sometimes people that most need a theme are sort of turned off by the theme, which is unfortunate because they could really use it, but there's that inner resistance at work, you know. But that's why, you know, most of the people I heal, they do subscriptions, so they're doing all the sets anyway. And that one of the many benefits of that is then your own resistance doesn't get in the way because you're going to get all the healing. So you're not like opting out of the set that you most needed because of inner resistance. But anyway, so April theme is like, now I'm going to forget it. Focus, discipline, or discipline, focus, time management, and productivity. If you can stand the irony of me, Janet Wright, teaching about time management. But, you know, we all are, you know, coming at things from our own place, and baby steps for me may be different than baby steps for you on a certain topic. But anyway, but that's April. And then March, you know, just next month, is safety and abundance. So strong boundaries with danger and or malevolent forces, you know, strong boundaries with that. And then an open hand to opportunities. That should be interesting too. So both March and April sets are on my website. And you can purchase them if you want, even if you've never worked with me before, even if you really don't have much idea of what energy healing is, but you're thinking, why not? That's all good. And if you want me to heal someone that you care about, usually that's okay too. You can purchase a set for them and put their full name and who they are to you in the notes. And then, you know, we'll email, and I'll ask you, and I will email, and telepathically I will ask the person that you purchased for to see if on a subconscious spirit level they're open to the healings. And if they say yes, which most likely they will, then we're all good. All right. We can see and hear you. Thank you. Hey, Janet, can see and hear you in windy San Francisco, 51 degrees Fahrenheit. Well, hello to you. Windy, windy. It is not windy here. Not especially. That's nice. Well, thanks for the weather report. 51 is nice. It was an awesome walkthrough, very straight and to the point. Oh, good. I'm glad you liked it. You're talking about the the 17-minute video I just made, experienced version, 5 essentials, wham bam. Oh, good. Yeah, I think that all my veterans will enjoy that one. I mean, unless you just prefer freestyling, which most of the time I do prefer freestyling, but I'm sure sometimes I'll prefer using that video. A lot of people do prefer walkthroughs, even if they know all of it. So there you go. Now you have it. A walkthrough of the 5 essentials with a lot less explaining. Someone says, hi from LA, 57 degrees and sunny. Well, hello to you. That sounds nice. Someone says, whoops, sorry. Okie doke. No need to apologize. Someone says, hey, Janet, I can see and hear you from rainy Las Vegas, 45 degrees Fahrenheit. Ooh, that's very chilly for you. Well, I hope you stay warm. Thank you for the pretty emojis. Yeah, we are actually somewhat sunny right now, which is not that usual for us this time of year, so it's very nice. And I do have 1 or 2 updates for the end of the live stream, just, fun random life story type things. Oh, and for those of you So, I have been getting petitions for more BooBoo photos and showing BooBoo more in our live stream. She's our feral cat, who during the day is in a room hanging out all by herself because our kitten used to chase her. Now he has no opportunity to chase her. We're hoping that he's going to grow out of that, and then she'll be able to be out and about all day, every day, someday soon. But anyway, so people were saying they don't see her anymore on the live streams, and so I put a photo of her as the thumbnail of that experienced version 5 essentials walkthrough. So you'll see BooBoo's face every time you look at that thumbnail. Okay. So I'm going to be quiet for 3 minutes or so before I start the healing. And then, as you know, when I'm healing, I will talk the whole time, except for a minute at the start. Okay. So I'm going to do this next part of the 5 essentials. It's going to be more of an experienced version with less explaining. So if you're totally new to my stuff, just wing it. You can do it. And later you could practice with the, versions that have all the explaining. There's a lot of them in my short video playlist, which is linked in this info section. It's also in my YouTube channel page, the short video playlist or shorter video playlist. There's a video for each of these 5 essentials that we'll be doing, a separate video, and has the explaining. Okay, so let's do this. So have a copy of your everything out in front of you, all your auras, your physical body, your astral body, both your groundings. Make your groundings wide as all your auras. So boom, wide groundings, right? Wide all the way down to the core of the earth. Melt away blocks, especially at the very bottom. Use gold light from your hands. So you have a hand chakra on each palm of each hand. You have a fingertip chakras, right? Use your intention. Set them to a metallic gold color. Metallic gold, right? And just set it to that color. Use that color to do all the work. So melt the blocks in your grounding. So many people, they kind of coast on these healings, which for some people, like, that's obviously better than nothing to coast on getting these healings. But I would say the ideal is to gradually, get better at self-healing and gradually get more consistent at self-healing. So then you still rock all the healing, receiving the healings, but you like, it just multiplies how fast you're growing quite a bit and the benefits that you get from everything. So up to you, but you could consider unblocking your grounding, once or twice a day. If that's a new concept to you, I would encourage you to think about, okay, well, why don't I want to unblock my grounding once or twice a day for like 20 seconds? What's it going to cost you? So unblock your grounding, unblock the bottom of your auras. So your auras go beneath your feet. All your auras wrap around above your head, beneath your feet, everywhere. And that lowermost part beneath your feet, you really don't want that blocked because it gets in the way of your releasing. Back of head stuff. That's mostly why I wanted to do a jumbled version, because I wanted to, usually back of head stuff, I do it as the 5th essential, so I do it after the other stuff. But I feel like people need it a lot, and so I need to do that pretty soon. So good karma windows are back here. There's one for each astral body aura layer, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There are windows. They can get damaged, in which case energy that's not yours can come through. But if they're not damaged, if they're just whole and unblocked, then only your good stuff comes through, which is nice. It's sort of uplifting and calming, as opposed to overwhelming and crappy. So you can just grab any invasive energy that's coming through here into the back of your head, just freeze it, drag it out, angels, here you go, freeze it, drag it out, angels, here you go, freeze it, drag it out, angels, here you go. You make a red grounding just for the base of skull area, just for the back of your head. Nice red grounding all the way to the core of the earth. The back of your head area, soak up the red earth energy and gold light from your hands. could bring up a red grounding and ground your good karma windows back there with red earth energy. You say, angels, if there are any invasive beings in the way or messing with this area back here, can you please recycle them? I'm going to do extra clearing around all the major chakras up and down the spine. So, like, I'm just noticing a lot of leaks and energy blocks right here in the back of all the major chakras, and right here in front of all the major chakras and in the top of the head. So I'm just going to do extra gold light either side of the spine, basically, front and back. Chakra fit is nice. I'll stick that in here. That's unblocking so that your astral 7 chakras fit more comfortably into your physical body 7 chakras. So you just imagine any blocks that are healthy and gentle to get rid of that are in the way of your chakra fit. Move those out. Melt them with lots of gold light. Imagine the energy blocks in the way of your chakra fit. Move those out. Angels, if there are any invasive beings in the way, can you recycle them? And then melt the blocks. Again, I'm still doing on either side, front and back of all the major chakras and top and bottom of the 7th chakra. Gold fire. All right. So, aura repair. Just imagine an image of a rip out in front of you and have that rip represent any rips that you actually already have in your 17 auras. And then as you repair this composite copy rip, you're repairing all those rips, right? So you have your composite copy rip. And the bold version, if you're at home, is to just use so much gold light, gold fire, gold water, and just flame the whole thing so much. The angels, can you recycle any invasive beings that are in this area in the way of the repair? The non sort of wow attention, potentially attention garnering version, the more mild version, is use sticky gold wax to clean out the rip first. So sticky gold wax, fill up the rip with sticky gold wax, have that stick to everything that's not you, lift it out as a chunk. Angels, here you go. Sticky gold wax, lift out all the junk. Angels, here you go. And use so much gold light. So angels, can you recycle any invasive beings in the way? And let the here. Gold light from your hands. Then check the outer surface of all your 17 auras and check for any hard objects that are sticking out that you missed. Pop those out, let those destroy. The angels, can you recycle any invasive beings in the way and use gold light to repair the leftover gashes? Look for some more leaks or hard objects sticking out. Pop out the hard objects, let them destroy. Angels, can you recycle any invasive beings in the way? Use gold light, send it into the gashes so they repair fully. Redo your gold buffer zones. We'll go back to creative rings, but I want to do chakra repair first. So as I said, jumbled order, which is fine. So this is the basic chakra shape, open cylinder, equally wide on both ends so that you have optimal flow. So just create an image of a chakra and with your intention say, okay, this represents all my chakras, all major chakras, minor chakras of my body and spirit. And just use so much gold light that you're repairing the damage, melting the cords, melting the energy blocks that the cords anchor into, that the cords can anchor into. So damage can be like a big chunk could be missing out of the side of the chakra, or like you can have like sort of like a razor blade stuck in the side of the chakra, or a spear stuck in it somewhere, like a hard object. So you can just pop out the hard objects, let them destroy. And so angels, if there are any invasive beings in the way of this repair, can you recycle them? That's very common that you'll have invasive beings in the way. Why? Because the damage causes energy to leak, and invasive beings like to take advantage of leaking energy. They're attracted to it. So, but it doesn't matter. You're a giant spirit compared to them, so don't get all phobic about it. Just repair. You can lift out energy blocks too, in addition to just melting them in place with gold light. So lift out the blocks that are healthy and gentle to get rid of from your chakras and just melt them. Gold light. Lift out the blocks that you want to get rid of. Melt them away with gold light. All right, good enough. So creative rings, let's go back to those. So those are up here, 1, 2, 3, 3 gold creative rings. They generate gold light, which is good. And other, I mean, I would say that's their main function. It's just really important to have a protective force field right here. And if they're unblocked, then your energy flows through it nicely through the center of the rings. So make a copy of your rings out in front of you. And repair them, melt cords from people. You can say angels, if there are any invasive beings cording these rings, can you recycle them? And you can use sticky gold wax if you want, and have the wax stick to everything that's not you in and around the rings. Then move the wax out with all that junk. Angels, here you go. Sticky gold wax your rings. Move out the junk. Angels, here you go. Also, the bold version is just use so much gold fire that burn everything out. And repair all the damage, pop all the devices out. Repair the damage. So be aware of your energy flowing down through your creative rings into your 7th chakra, your energy coming out of your 7th chakra, flowing through your creative rings upward, your 7th layer to flow all the way down your 7th layer all around you. Be aware of your spine, your major chakras along your spine. Take some deep breaths. All right. So I think that's good enough for the 5 essentials. So now I'm going to look for a sec, see what technique we should do next. Okay, so I talked about this before the start of the healing. You could imagine your own potential for positive change, for faster positive change, as a flowing river. And it seems like the angels want it to be gold, so it can be a gold flowing river, but maybe there's some distortion in it, so it's not gold. And you can have distortions around it that cause you to fear your own positive change, or distrust your own potential for positive change. So what we can do is remove all the energy from other people and all the trauma blocks around your river for faster positive change, so that you become better acquainted with your own inner power for faster positive change and more comfortable with your own empowered energy of faster positive change. Because it's possible that people can pretty much teach you to fear your own capabilities, or teach you to, distrust yourself or be ashamed of yourself. And that's just silly. So we're going to do several things around that, but let's just directly look at the river and see how you feel about it, and remove what causes you to sort of be uncomfortable with your own potential for faster positive change. We'll do that first. So that was explaining. So now we can just do. So however you want to imagine your own river, if you want to imagine it going into a circle, if you want to imagine more of a linear river, it doesn't matter, whatever you like. But just imagine and if you want to imagine it as something other than a river, that's cool too. Knock yourself out if you want like a garden or something. But I'm going to imagine a river. And so you're imagining your personal potential for faster positive change, for you as an eternal soul. So not just in this lifetime, you're just getting in touch with like a power that you have. Okay, so you imagine that river and see, how do you feel about it? And what's your initial reaction to it? And if you have any negative reaction to it, look for, there could be things standing around the river, or objects, around the river that make it look spooky or scary or whatever. So just use lots of gold light and melt away anything that's not you around this river. You could say, angels, help me do a good job with this. If you're like, I don't know what I'm doing. So just use gold light for your hands and just search for anything that doesn't look right, that's kind of making you distrust your own potential for positive change. And just melt all that stuff. And if there are any invasive beings around, trying to be all big and spooky, just say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings that are messing with my river? And there can be some blocks towards the start of the river that make the river not have as much power. So you can look for that and just see, has anybody kind of tried to limit your power for faster positive change? And it could be from many lifetimes ago. But you can just imagine what's healthy and gentle to change right now, and if you see blocks, then after having that intention, you can go ahead and melt those. Because that's a good way to, that's an effective way to oppress somebody, right? Is to teach them to dislike their own power, teach them to distrust their own sort of sacredness, right? So look for any negativity above or around your faster positive change river and melt it away with gold light. And you can say, angels, if there are any invasive beings in the way, can you recycle them? All right, good job. Woo! So you don't have to make it perfect. We just want to improve, heal it. Baby steps. So now we'll do something very related to that. Okay, so you can still imagine your river for your faster positive change, your own eternal potential for faster positive change in your lifetimes. And then imagine parts of you that are totally comfortable with this river. And then imagine, to the extent that's healthy and gentle for you to do right now, imagine one or two or several parts of you that are really not comfortable with fast or positive change, like maybe actively protesting it or actively, maybe out of anger or grief or trauma or fear, whatever it is. But just maybe you have a part of you that's kind of walled off with some, emotional blocks or grief or shame or whatever. So just imagine the walled off, the part of you that's sort of barricaded away from this positive change river of yours. And you can notice what the barricade is. Like maybe there's a part of you and that's surrounded by big, heavy rocks that keep you away from your positive change river. Will keep this part of you away. And what are those rocks? Is it old grief, old anger, old resentments, old fear from other people, oppressing energy from other people? And it could be from many lifetimes ago. So just use gold light and melt away whatever is sort of sectioning off this part of you and making this part of you fear yourself and your own capabilities or distrust your own capabilities. And you can give a healing to that part of you that's sort of barricaded away. Lots of gold light. You can say, angels, help me do this. Angels, if there are any invasive beings messing with this part of me, can you recycle them? And just be comforting. You're not forcing anything. You're just giving this part of you a healing. And then you're also melting away whatever old baggage causes you to basically be afraid of yourself or, ashamed of yourself or angry with yourself, whatever. So lots of gold light, melt the baggage. Help this part of you to heal. And when that part of you is fully healed, it won't be separate anymore and you'll just get it back. So it'll be a part of the rest of you. So we can do that one more time. And you can also heal your positive change river. See if that changed at all. Your river changed as you healed that part of you. Now, since you've healed that part of you. So now for variety, we just healed a part of you that was most resistant to positive change for whatever reason. So now we can heal a part of you that is the most joyless part of you. So and again, not to mock this part of you. This part of you could be joyless because of traumatic events, or resentments towards other people that you got caught up in a past life for whatever reason, right? So it's sort of like a joy killer part of you that you're just internally, it really flattens your ability to enjoy things. So find that part of you. Just still look at the positive change river, but then in relation to that, there could be a part of you that is opposed to the positive change just because of it's stuck in this joyless state. So just say hi to this part of you that's the most joyless, that's still healthy and gentle to work on. And just use lots of gold light. Try to be really reassuring and gentle. Just, hey, it's okay. It's just gold light. It's just healing energy. You deserve a healing. And again, no judgment. It's okay. All right. And again, I did say it in the intro, but I'll repeat it here. Joy can be different for different people and different parts of you. So for some parts of you that have been through a lot, once they heal, they may not be laughing and singing and dancing. They may just enjoy solitude or serenity or peace of mind. And that may be really, really enjoyable. So there's no expectation of what this part of you needs to become once it gets joy. So, and again, that part of you could be barricaded off with a bunch of rocks or walls of shame or sadness or grief or somebody else's oppressing energy. So just melt whatever is barricading this part of you away with gold light. And you could say, angels, if there are any invasive beings messing with this part of me, can you recycle them? And once you feel like that part of you has melted away and you get that energy back, so it's no longer sort of segregated off in a joyless state, you can just take some deep breaths and see how that feels. And also see if you notice any changes in your positive change river since you healed that most joyless part of you. Okay, so now I'll put that all in caps so I notice it later. Okay, so now we're going to, again, be aware of your internal power and capability as an eternal spirit for positive change and faster positive change. You have that ability. It is within you. You've used it in a whole bunch of lifetimes already. So you can imagine that your internal capability for faster positive change as a river if you want. And then, heal it with gold light. And if it's blocked up anywhere that's healthy and gentle to clear, just go ahead and unblock it. And now you could have a mini part of you that is too fearful and is kind of fighting against this other part of you, your force for positive change and faster positive change. So you can go ahead and imagine this most fearful part of you that's still healthy and gentle to heal right now. And see how it's kind of sectioned off away from this river of faster positive change, your faster positive change. And you can heal that part of you, this most fearful part of you. And just notice, like, you can see the baggage that sort of sections off this part of you, maybe as like walls around this part of you or big rocks around this part of you. And as you melt them away with gold light, you can notice what that is. Is that shame? Is that fear? Is that, energy from an oppressor from this life or a past life? A person that was invasive and had oppressive intentions. Just melt their energy away. melt your own baggage away and give this part of you a healing, this most fearful part of you. Just again, you're not forcing this part to change, but you're giving it a much needed healing, and that will change things in a gentle way. So lots of gold light. You can say it's okay. You're safe. It's okay. You're safe now. Feel this part of you. It's okay. All right. You can say, angels, can you help me heal this part of me? You can also say, angels, if there are any invasive beings messing with this part of me, can you please recycle them? And if that part of you is still sectioned off, you can say, angels, can you help me heal this part of me? And again, if there's any walls around that part of you still, just go ahead and melt those away. Whatever it is, be it fear, shame, trauma baggage, that's healthy and gentle to clear right now, just go ahead and melt it. So that then you get that part of you back. It's no longer stuck in a fearful state. So take some deep breaths, breathe into your spine, your hips, all your major joints, your toes, your fingers. Sometimes gratitude is always a very powerful energy. It's good for the heart chakra to think about what you're grateful for. So you could do that just for a moment now and just think of a few things that you're grateful for, even if you have to kind of, even if you're in a sour mood, thinking of things you're grateful for can begin to breathe life into your heart chakra again, which is very helpful. So, maybe you're grateful that you can walk, if you can walk. Maybe you're grateful that you're alive. Maybe you're grateful that you have food that you can eat today. Maybe you're grateful that you have a safe place to sleep tonight. Take some deep breaths. And notice your river, this faster positive change river, your own potential, your own power to create faster positive change in your life as an eternal spirit in your lifetimes. But I guess especially in this life. But just look at that, your power as a river, and see if there's anything making it not gold, you can just melt that stuff away. If you notice anything like foggy or spinning around it, those could be invasive beings. So you can say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings messing with my faster positive change river? And just notice if the river changed when you healed that fearful part of you. And notice, how do you feel now about your power for creating faster positive change? So healing mini-U's is nice, but also you can just stack the energy blocks out in front of you. So let's do a little bit of that too. So go ahead and you can make a big gold blanket out in front of you and put the energy blocks on top of that blanket if you want, or just stack them out there without the blanket. But put copies out in front of you of any internal baggage within you. And it could be stuff that people have dumped in your space too, but anything that causes you to resist your own ability to experience and manifest faster positive change this year or in this lifetime. Just put all the blocks out in front of you that cause you to sort of fight against your own positive change. And you can say, angels, is it healthy and gentle to clear all these right now? And angels, can you recycle any invasive beings hooked into this stuff? And then melt away the cords from other people with gold light. Melt away your energy. And melt so much out of these blocks that they melt away. Or once you've melted the people's energy out, you could blow them up. Okay, so sometimes I get blamed for, I get judged for like blaming the victim, and I definitely don't mean that, but there is a way in which you're more powerful than you realize, and sometimes if you don't own that inner power, then it's as if you don't even have it. So say someone is in your space, right, oppressing you. I mean, unless you're a kid, but I guess even a kid really has some spiritual power with it. But obviously, a kid has much less spiritual power. But if you're an adult, even if you are, like, say, financially dependent on another adult, it's still the playing field is more level. And on a spirit level, you're aware subconsciously of who's in your space oppressing you. And so then if you could do it gently and without judgment, it's interesting to ask yourself, well, why do I let that person still be in my space? So this is all explaining, not doing. Sorry about that. So, like, for example, I noticed the other day that somebody's energy was in my space, and it was like my arms were zip tied together at the wrist, right, with that person's energy in my. And so I asked myself, well, why, because on some level I knew that, right? Not consciously, but on some level I knew that. So why was I allowing that to happen for weeks and weeks? And in that case, why I was letting it happen is I had too much resistance. And so my resistance, I was trying to like free myself in a very resistant way, like not a very sort of savvy way using gold light and all that. I was just sort of struggling against the zip ties, and they were making them stronger and just kind of hurting my arms. My own resistance was kind of like, I was caught in resistance. And so, because otherwise I could have just used gold light and melted them, which is what I eventually did when I realized what, consciously what happened. I was like, all right, well, gold light, angels, if there are any invasive beings, can you recycle them? More gold light, okay, gone, right? So there can be parts of you that on a subconscious level, maybe you're stuck in too much resistance, or you're stuck in too much fear or something, right? So I'm going to call those passive or victim parts of you that are allowing oppression. But again, try not to take that as like we're shaming these parts of you. It's just, it's just like what I explained. It's like it's a sort of a less effective part of you. And so we're going to help those parts out by healing them, so that, when you're aware subconsciously of oppression within your space, then there's less sort of where you're tripping over yourself and not really dealing with it, on a spirit level. Then you're more likely to, just use the gold light and get rid of it, bam, bam, as opposed to, fighting against it for a couple months first. Okay, so maybe heal is a more accurate description of what we're going to be doing. We're going to heal these passive victim parts of you that are allowing oppression, so that you can, get smart and clear it faster, even just on a subconscious level. But the idea is to do it faster, so you're not just like screwing yourself for months. And then you realize like, oh, on some level, here, let me not resist it. And then it melts away. Oh, cool. Mm. Okay. So, like I said, there are parts of you, most likely, that are allowing the oppression. You're allowing some people to hog up the back of your grounding, or allowing some people to block up your path every afternoon when you get sleepy, or allowing, someone to be in your space every night so that you have trouble getting back to sleep. Part of you sees it all happening and is ineffective in dealing with the situation, right? And so we're not judging that part of you. That part of you maybe is too overwhelmed or confused or stuck in resistance or stuck somehow, right? So we're going to heal those parts of you so that you don't get stuck in that sort of, deer in the headlights kind of frozen mode. Okay. So just imagine these parts of you that maybe accidentally are allowing the oppression to continue within your space. And it could be one mini-U or several mini-Us, right? And just give them a healing, right? So just lots of gold light. You can bring up red earth energy, orange earth energy, yellow earth energy, lots of gold light. Just be comforting to these parts of you. Again, don't shame them. It's there's no shame in it. It's just time to help these parts of you, right? So it's okay. It's all right. Sometimes these parts you were like, oh, I know I should have meditated or I should have known, that don't, just try to be supportive of these parts of you and understanding and empathetic. It's okay. It's all right. Let's just get healed. It's okay. Okay. You say, angels, if there are any invasive beings messing with these parts of me, can you recycle them? And then just lots of gold light. Maybe these parts of you are corded to other people, so melt the cords. Just give these parts of you just understanding and kindness and gold light. Okay, it's all right. You could say, angels, can you help me heal these parts of me? So chances are those parts of you are melted now and they're just a part of you. They're not especially victim-y anymore and separate. But if you do have a couple leftover parts of you that are still separate, just say, angels, can you help me heal these parts of me? And maybe use extra gold light, melt cords from other people going into these parts of you. You can say, angels, if there are any invasive beings interfering, can you recycle them? All right, good job, good job. I'm going to look a little more. Okay. So, I was looking at one of my people I'm healing and how they feel about their own river of faster positive change energy that we've been working in this healing. And their mind was so busy um, that it just couldn't, they were not open to their own power of positive change, their own inner capabilities for positive, faster positive change. It was kind of just wasn't computing. So here we're going to calm the mind. We're going to clear, in that person's case, it was energy from their ex-wife that was just like mental messages that were playing over and over in their mind, because people can dump energy into your mind and it just kind of, the tapes run, you know, it's like a movie playing that you didn't start playing, but it's still playing in your mind. So those are just energy blocks, right? Typically they're in the 5th chakra, astral or physical, or 5th aura layer, astral or physical. But you don't really have to know. We're just going to line them up out in front of you and melt them away. And blue soak is when you imagine your subconscious and conscious mind, and you bring up blue earth energy, just to calm your mind. Because some of your lower energy centers, blue would be a little fast moving for them, like your 1st, 2nd, and 3rd chakras, 4th chakra maybe. But we're just going to imagine the conscious and subconscious mind, your conscious and subconscious mind, and bring up blue earth energy straight from the core of the earth into the mind. So that's what I call blue soak for your mind. Okay, so we'll do both those things, and that'll be nice. And it'll be another way that you can be more open to your own inner power of faster positive change, and just, you know, have a more functional mind and possibly sleep better too. Okay, let's do it. So, first for blue soak, just imagine some visual representation out in front of you of your conscious and subconscious mind. I'm going to imagine 2 gardens that are joined, one for the subconscious mind, one for the conscious mind. But if you want to imagine them like 2 different rivers that flow into each other, or 2 beaches that join together, whatever, however you want to imagine your minds. But and you bring up blue earth energy straight from the core of the earth, and soak both of your parts of your mind, the subconscious part of your mind and the conscious part of your mind, with the blue earth energy. And use gold light and run it through the barrier between your subconscious and conscious mind. There is a healthy barrier. You can imagine it golden flowing, and there may be junk around it, you know, like keeping stuff repressed that shouldn't be repressed, you know. So just use gold light and heal that barrier between your subconscious and conscious mind, so that what needs to flow one way or another will, and you won't be repressed in an unhealthy way. You won't have unhealthy levels of denial. So gold light through both your subconscious mind, your conscious mind, and your mind barrier between the two. And blue earth energy straight from the core of the earth to soak all of that with blue earth energy. Blue because 5th chakra is the major chakra that most coordinates with the mind. And blue, like a medium blue or a light blue, is an ideal color for the 5th chakra. So I just figured blue earth energy for the mind. That'd be probably the most comforting and soothing, along with gold, of course. All right. So if you want, you can keep that going, you know, just have the blue earth energy soak your mind, and leave it that way. You can get rid of the visual objects out in front of you relating to it. And clearing blocks to calm your mind. So it can be like a mental loop, something you keep thinking about. But it can also be very subconscious, that you're not aware of what you're looping on, and it just, you know, you have focus problems or problems getting back to sleep, but you don't really know what's looping in your mind because you've repressed it so much. that is still looping. You just don't know consciously what it is. But that's okay. You don't need to know consciously in order to clear it. So just pile out in front of you energy blocks that cause your mind to loop and not have calmness, not have peace. So any baggage in your mind that messes with your peace of mind and your calmness and your serenity of your mind. And say, angels, is it healthy and gentle to clear all this right now? Deep breath while your angels sort through all that. And then angels, can you recycle any invasive beings that are corded to this junk? Deep breath. So then now it's just a bunch of baggage and maybe some cords from other people, and maybe you're cording the baggage too. So just use gold light and melt the cords, melt everybody's energy out of the baggage. Yeah, just keep using so much gold light that the baggage melts. And if you want, once you get the baggage, once you get people's energy out, you could blow up the piles too. That's kind of fun sometimes. But melting is fine too. And if you have any leftovers, just wrap them up in gold light and give them to your angels. Angels, can you help me with all that? All right, good job, good job. Okay, so I don't think it's an accident that the angels wanted me to, mix these topics, the clearing the sexuality baggage, the emotional baggage, and faster positive change. I'm looking at a lot of the people that I heal. That's part of what's in the way of them really enjoying their own potential for faster positive change is, and a lot of times it's past life. It's so old, this baggage. And it just, unless you go ahead and clear it, it's still there, and you keep bringing it forward to different lifetimes. It's not that you can't clear it. It's just, you haven't, Because who sits down in a lifetime and says, okay, I'm going to clear my past life baggage? No one. I mean, except for weirdos like us. So, sometimes though, people clear it subconsciously, by doing stuff that they love, by having discipline and kind of getting themselves to do things that are harder, maybe in order to accomplish those more challenging things. They end up clearing the past life baggage subconsciously. But it is easier if you just overtly go bam, bam, bam and clear it. So that's what we'll do. But it may not be obvious to people that old emotional baggage or old sexuality baggage could be in the way of your ability to enjoy faster positive change, because you're thinking, well, what does the positive change that I'm trying to create have to do with sex, Janet? And it may not have nothing to do with it directly, but all the chakras work together. And so if you're avoiding too much and repressing too much in one of them, it's going to bring them all down, you know, to an extent. So, that's another reason why, like, there are unpredictable benefits from any of these themes, you know. So anyway, let's do it. It's easy to do. Let's see, what's a fun way to do it though? There's so many ways we could do it. And keep things interesting. Okay, so I will explain a more straightforward way to do it, but then I won't do it that way. I'll explain a different way that's a little more maybe poetic and creative, and I'm feeling in the mood for that. So that's the way I'm going to do. But the more straightforward way is just to put blocks out in front of you and melt them away or blow them up, right? Sexuality and emotional baggage that's in your space, whether it's yours from a past life or it's something somebody dumped in your space in this or a past life. But any sexuality or emotion baggage that's in your space that's in the way of you really enjoying and tuning into your own faster positive change potential, right? So you just put the blocks out in front of you, you know, blah, 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 clear it. But the way I'm going to do it is imagining that river for, you know, imagine a river of gold energy that represents your potential as an eternal soul to manifest faster positive change in this lifetime and other lifetimes too. But, you know, obviously we're working on this one. And so you imagine your faster positive change river. That's your power for faster positive change. And then imagine your sexuality and emotional baggage that's in your space and see how it's impacting your river. So maybe it's kind of walling off part of your river so that not as much keeps going after that barricade, or maybe it just like harms the, like, sort of changes the vibe of the river, so it's not as enjoyable after that and it's not as strong. So just any visual way that you can notice how is your emotions and sexuality baggage that's in your space impacting your faster positive change river. And you can imagine that emotional and sexual baggage as objects, right? So maybe they look like spears or big rocks or walls or something, right? And then just use gold light and melt, you know, to the extent that's healthy and gentle to do right now, melt the sexuality and emotional baggage so that it's not messing with your internal power or faster positive change. So go ahead, melt away the emotional and sexuality baggage that's in the way, that's messing with your river. And you can say, angels, you know, if there's any invasive beings in the way, can you recycle them? And you can take a deep breath, you know, check your own grounding, unblock your grounding. Make sure your grounding is nice and wide, all the way down to the core of the earth. And again, check your river that represents your inner power as an eternal soul to manifest faster positive change. And just see the impact that you're, to the extent that's healthy and gentle to change right now, what impact does sexual and emotional baggage have on your river? And then go ahead and clear the baggage. The angels, if there's any invasive beings in the way, can you recycle them? Maybe the sky above your river doesn't seem so welcoming and validating. You can melt away the junk in the sky above your positive change river. And there can be past lives that you've had, or maybe this life, but chances are if you're getting this healing, it's not this life. But there can be lifetimes, or maybe earlier in this life, where you had an authority that you accepted as a limiting force internally. So, like, maybe you were part of a very oppressive family or a part of a very oppressive religion. And the religion decided how much change you should create. Not you, or you were following a very oppressive leader, spiritual leader or political leader, and they decided how much positive change that you're allowed to manifest and what kind of change you're allowed to manifest. So you can look at your river and notice if so that was, I started a new thing and didn't change my banner. So I'll just say social or religious blocks in the way of faster positive change. So it was like if you were a part of some kind of a society or religion or political group that was pretty oppressive and you allowed that into your self and you allowed your own positive change to be limited and defined and guided by an external force. That's not you. That wasn't the universe. It was like a person, a religious leader or somebody, right? So you can imagine now, let's do the doing part now. So now as you imagine your own river representing your ability to have faster positive change, right? Notice if there's any kind of religious or social controls limiting this river, or political controls limiting this river. There could be a current political force that's limiting your river. So just imagine it as a simple object, maybe like some kind of a hard band around the water that you can melt away with gold light. Maybe a big rock in the way of the river and just melt that away with gold light. Any controls that are external to you from another person, and just melt those out of this river. That is your own eternal potential for positive change. And some of that social limits on your potential for positive change could be gender related. Maybe in this or a past life, there is some social rules about, what women or men are capable of, or what, people that are transsexual or whatever, you know, like sexuality or gender orientation that you had in this life or a past life. You know, maybe there are people that wanted to control you based on that, you know, like, oh, you're a man, so you have to do this, or you can't do this, or, you know, blah, blah, blah. So just imagine your potential for positive change river and look for, you know, any gender-based or, gender or sexuality-based social controls that were placed on your river. And to the extent you want to, just melt them away so that other people aren't defining what you're capable of in this lifetime. Just melt that stuff away. All right. Good job, good job, good job. Woo, yeah. I'm going to look a little bit more and see what we're going to do next. Okay. So with this, we're going to be working the fourth chakra and probably unblocking the fourth chakra rivers from the fourth layer, which goes all around you. Fourth layer of your astral body aura and physical body aura. The energy from the fourth layer goes into the fourth chakra. So that route is the front fourth chakra river. And then the fourth chakra is in the center of your chest. And then it goes out the back of your fourth chakra, your fourth chakra energy, and to the back of your fourth layer, right? So that route right there, that's your back fourth chakra river, right? And then, of course, your fourth layer wraps all around. So the energy goes back and front, comes in, spins around, comes out back, goes all around, front to back, all around, front to back, all around, right? So fourth chakra has to do with love, self-love, passion, motivation, self-care, enthusiasm. It's a big one for joy, gratitude, lots of fantastic things. And so I was looking at a sample person, and their mom controls them a lot less than they used to. But one of the remaining ways that their mom controls them is their mom put like a hard energy device, just a little hard chunk of energy in the back of everybody's fourth chakra, like her own spouse and all the kids. Just out of insecurity, like she has a lot of inner emptiness, and so she wants to feel like she wants to make her loved ones predictable, like she doesn't trust. And she doesn't trust that she will feel loved unless she controls everybody that she cares about, which of course is unfortunate. Hard to be in a relationship with somebody like that, right? So it's a bit of a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? Because they think people will let them down, and then they become so controlling that they chase everybody away. Or, well, not everybody, but they certainly drain a lot of the fun out of relationships. So we're going to just melt that stuff out. And fortunately, in that sample, I am healing the mother as well. So maybe as I heal her fourth chakra, then she'll feel more of her own self-love and feel less lonely and be less motivated to control her loved ones. But you never know. All right, so let's do it. So the reason why it might help you is just, fourth chakras are priceless, helps you with motivation, to work towards your goals, helps you to enjoy each day more, find the positive, positive outlook, glass half full perspective. That's fourth chakra. So it truly is priceless in helping you to get through hard times and helping you to enjoy just regular times and good times much more. So always, always, always worth unblocking your fourth chakra. Alrighty. Let's do it. So, chakra shape, open cylinder, right? So equally open in the front and in the back. Your fourth chakra is in the center of your chest. So you can imagine you have two, one for your astral body fourth chakra, one for your physical body fourth chakra. But when you wake up, then hopefully as many as possible of your 7 astral body chakras click into your physical body chakras, right? So if you're pretty present, then your astral fourth chakra is inside your physical fourth chakra right now. If you're not that present, or you feel like all bitter and resentful and whatever, then maybe they're not inside each other. So you could imagine them separately if you want and heal them separately. A benefit of that too is then maybe one is much more blocked than the other, and you might notice that and be like, wow, that's interesting. One's more unblocked than the other, and just work on the one that needs it the most. So it's up to you, but you could heal them both at the same time, even if you're not perfectly present. Just imagine them like a composite copy of the both of them. So it looks like one chakra, but you're healing both your fourth chakras at the same time. And just, you can have energy blocks in the front and in the back. You can have cords going into the front or the back. You can have damage or cracks. So that person, their mom had hard objects in the back of their fourth chakra, right, sitting pretty much near the opening in the. So you can just find some hard objects from people. And say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings hooked into this stuff? And then melt all the cords from people, melt everybody's energy out, melt your energy out. And then you could fully melt the devices. It usually takes a little bit extra gold light. But if you don't feel like it, you can just lift the devices out and give them to your angels. Angels, here you go. So find some more devices around your openings of your fourth chakras. Angels, can you recycle any invasive beings plugged into this stuff? Melt cords from people going into these devices. Melt everybody's energy out of the devices, and you could fully melt them with gold light. But if any of them don't melt or you just don't feel like it, just lift them out with gold light and give them to your angels. Angels, here you go. And, you know, it is possible to have issues with loneliness, right? But loneliness is one of the most ironic things on an energy level, because typically if you feel lonely, that's because your fourth chakra is blocked. So you could actually have other people's energy in your fourth chakra, even when you feel like you're all alone, you know, and you feel like super, super lonely. It's actually the opposite. You have other people's energy blocking up your fourth chakra. So, you know, one of those ways in which life is very ironic. So just melt everybody out of your fourth chakras so that they can do their job and help you feel comforted and happier, more content. And as you're working, you can think of something that you're grateful for. Maybe you're grateful that it's not raining today, or you're grateful that you have food to eat tonight. You're grateful that you have clean clothes to wear, that you can walk. And unblock your fourth chakra rivers, right? The energy flowing into the front and out the back. Imagine them as those pathways, and just melt any blocks sitting in the way or any hard objects. And your fourth layers go all around you, right, in the front and back. And so unblock those two. Just imagine a copy of your fourth layers out in front of you, which would be fourth layer of your astral body aura and physical body aura. And so the blocks can be most compressed up here, right at the very top, or right at the very bottom of a layer, or, you know, in the case of the fourth chakra, you know, right at one end of the river, right there, or at this end of the river, I guess, too, or right there, or right at this end of the fourth chakra river. So you can unblock those especially. Sometimes that's where it's most blocked up. Take some deep breaths. You might have some devices that are, or hard objects that are pretty jammed in there into the chakra, like a cork in a bottle. So if you do in the front or the back, you know, you might feel it as like a tightness. So just get a sense of the whole block. You know, maybe it's a hard device like a cork or a spear or something, and just surround it with a lot of gold light and ease the whole thing out. Angels, here you go. And just use so much gold light. You can say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings in the way of the repair? Use so much gold light so that the chakra repairs fully. You can do a little chakra alignment. 7th chakra, 6th chakras, 5th chakras, 4th, 3rd, 2nd, and 1st. Just gold light through them all. Melt cords, melt blocks. And click into alignment with each other. I'm going to look for another minute, see what we're going to do next. Okay, so we've done this before, but it's been a while, and it is very empowering in a hopefully a more lasting way to do something like this. And I think it does go with what we're working in this twin set of the faster positive change that is sort of ambient, and around and possible in this coming year, the 2026 year, and also the year of the firehorse in lunar astrology, Chinese astrology. And again, I am not a astrological expert by any stretch of the imagination. But anyway, if the stronger parts of you can turn towards the weaker parts of you and help them out and heal them, it's a very strengthening thing. If the stronger parts of you turn away from the weaker parts of you because, like, say you don't want to feel sad, or you don't want to feel like you're embarrassed by your own fear or something, then you judge your own shameful parts of you. If you turn away from those parts of you, it causes an inner conflict. And it's very weakening because you're sort of disassociating from part of your own energy. And when you're all divided like that, it's you're a lot less strong. So I think this will be a nice way to get stronger, get more empowered, even just subconsciously. And it can help you to make the most of, the faster positive change year that is underway. But it's good to do whenever, of course. Okay, so let's do it. So you can imagine the stronger part of you, the part of you, probably it's the most predominant part of you, unless you feel weak all the time, in which case it's not the most predominant part of you. But there is a part of you, certainly, that, because you're an eternal spirit and you've had plenty of lifetimes already. And so you've had plenty of lifetimes where you've learned and you've been kind of a badass and you did well, and you thought of something really smart, and so there is a stronger part of you that exists, and it may be the most dominant part of you in this life that you're aware of. So you have a stronger part of you really do. And then, but you do also have weaker parts of you, And sometimes the stronger part of you either ignores the weaker part of you or literally like turns your back on that weaker part of you in repression or denial. And as I said, that's very weakening. You're making things worse by doing that. So there are a lot of ways we could do this, but I think what we could do is say, okay, well, if the stronger part of you is turning your back on the weaker part of you, when that stronger part of you is so strong enough to help this weaker part of you, right? Because you're only imagining what's healthy and gentle to work right now, right? So what we could do is just clear the baggage that's causing this strong part of you to turn away and to reject a part of you rather than heal and fix it, right? So you can just pile out in front of you baggage that this stronger part of you is stuck on that's causing you to reject a part of you and not help and not sort of rescue this weaker part of you, right? So there's just some baggage that's causing you to do that. And so just use gold light and start running gold light through this baggage that's causing you, the strong part of you, to kind of abandon the weaker parts of you, right? And so lots of gold light. You could say angels, if there's any invasive beings hooked into this stuff, can you recycle them? Angels, is it healthy and gentle to clear all this right now? Deep breath. And then just use lots of gold light and melt cords from people going into this baggage. Again, this is baggage that causes the stronger parts of you to turn away from the weaker parts of you. So just keep melting that baggage. And then once you've melted that baggage, see if you notice any difference between the stronger and the weaker parts of you. And then you can play the role of the stronger part of you and imagine these weaker parts of you and give these parts of you an energy healing. And you can go ahead and give the stronger parts of you an energy healing too, right? Because the more healed they are, the more empowered they are, the more they'll, turn towards the weaker part and help them, right? So heal both the stronger parts of you and the weaker parts of you. How about that? You can bring up red earth energy, orange earth energy, yellow earth energy, lots of gold light. You can say angels, if there are any invasive beings messing with any parts of me, can you recycle them? And maybe there's like some distortion in between the strong parts of you and the weak parts of you. Like maybe there's like a funhouse mirror that makes the strong part of you like misperceive the weak parts of you as like hopeless or something. So if there's any distortion, any baggage in between the two parts of you, stronger and weaker parts, just melt that baggage away. Because no part of you is hopeless, right? No part of you is unhealable, right? So you don't want any baggage in the way making you think that. Melt that baggage. And keep healing the stronger parts of you and the weaker parts of you. And then just observe, keep breathing. See what you notice. And if you notice anything like sort of disturbing, maybe it's just some invasive being playing head games with you. So you could say, angels, if there are any invasive beings interfering with my clear perception, can you please recycle them? So sometimes, we worked on this a few healings ago, where the weaker parts of you or the stronger parts of you might be waiting for an apology from somebody. And that's why you're not healing these weaker parts of you or healing all your old wounds. You're waiting for someone to say, I really shouldn't have done that to you, or, you really are, you really were a good friend of mine and I'm sorry, or whatever. You're waiting for somebody to kind of make it okay again. You're basically waiting for them to do something that would be healing for you rather than just healing your wounds. And while that is nice, of course, if somebody does apologize or say things that are supportive and validating, if you're kind of waiting and not healing yourself in the meantime, that's not very healthy, right? So go ahead and put any baggage out in front of you that caught. My dog likes it if you talk to him when he's coughing. Okay, so put baggage out in front of you, any baggage you might have that's causing you to wait and not heal your wounds because you're waiting for someone to apologize, someone to make it better, someone to be supportive. And just put all that waiting baggage out in front of you, waiting for other people baggage, and just use gold light and melt it away. So that you're not stuck holding your breath and waiting for someone else to do something. All right, melt your waiting baggage. All right, deep breath. And see how that changes the dynamic between the stronger parts of you and the weaker parts of you. All right, good job, good job. So let's celebrate with some butterflies for that one. Yay, good job, good job, good job. Oh, and I did not mention it up until now in this stream, but if you could give this stream a thumbs up, I would appreciate it. Obviously, you don't have to, but it does help other people to see the live stream and learn and heal themselves, which is cool. Let's see. Okay, so we're going to do proactive clearing. We've done this many times before, but I thought I would add the theme of, the firehorse year that we just had Lunar New Year, which I explained before the healing. And so that, I guess, from what I read, the simple little things that I've read does have to do with being bold and potentially making big changes, which coincides with what the angels want me to work with you guys anyway, which is faster positive change. So you can think of, 2026 or the whole firehorse year from this Lunar New Year we just had to, whatever one is in a year from now, or just for your past or positive change for whatever time period you like. And just put out in front of you any blocks that are likely to get triggered in that time period that are healthy and gentle to clear right now. You can just put out a bunch though, and we'll have the angels double check. So any blocks that you think will get in your way and maybe lessen your enjoyment in the next year, or that will, cause you to not embrace your own power for faster positive change. So any baggage like that that's in your space. And angels, go ahead, ask your angels. Angels, is it healthy and gentle to clear all this right now? And just take some deep breaths while your angels edit, maybe, if needed. So anything left is healthy and gentle to clear right now. And then angels, can you recycle any invasive energies that could be corded and connected to this baggage? So that way, clearing it will be a lot less drama. Okay, so now it's just a bunch of baggage, just a bunch of hard chunks of energy, and maybe some cords from people, right? So just use, you can bring up red earth energy and soak all the baggage in red earth energy to help start the excess energy to ground down to the core of the earth. Use gold light, melt cords from people going into all this baggage, melt your cords that are going in, melt everybody's energy out of the baggage, your own resistance, other people's energy, just melt all that out of the baggage, out of the energy blocks out in front of you. Keep melting. And you can do that until all the baggage is gone, or you can just, now that you've gotten everybody out, you can just blow it all up. Unless you're healing someone else, and don't blow up their stuff. That's too bossy, in my opinion. Just use gold light to melt in that case. So we can do one more time. And again, we'll have angels check. So you'll know it's not too much, right? So put out in front of you any energy blocks that you think will get triggered in the next firehorse, throughout the firehorse year, or throughout 2026, or, just in whatever time period you like for your faster positive change. Any baggage within you that will cause you to not really align with your own power and your own empowerment. For faster positive change and for other things, other aspects of your empowerment, right? So any baggage in the way of that. And then you can say, angels, is it healthy and gentle to clear all this? And take a deep breath while your angels possibly edit if needed. And then angels, can you recycle any invasive energies that are connected to this baggage? And then it's just a bunch of energy blocks and cords from people and from you. So just melt all the cords with gold light. And you can bring up red earth energy and wash everybody out. Wash yourself out. Maybe you have some fear or some resistance or some avoidance in there. Maybe other people's energies in there. Just melt it all away. And once all that's out, you can keep using gold light to melt fully, or you can blow it all up. And if any's left over, just wrap it up in gold light. Give it to your angels. Say, angels, can you help me with this? Okay, so we're going to wrap up the healing. So just recreate your groundings. Make them both the same color, red or orange or yellow, nice and wide, all the way down to the core of the earth, all the way up to your third chakra, just below your sternum. Comb through a copy of your grounding out in front of you and melt away everybody's junk out of your grounding, your own junk out of your grounding. You need it really fast, flowing downwards so that to help with stress relief, to help with energy boundaries and safety so you can stand strong, stick up for yourself, be self-assertive, clear your, when you get stuck, to just be able to clear it better if your grounding's nice and strong and flowing, right? Melt away cords from other people going into your grounding, hold light up and down your grounding, melt everybody out. All right, so STEBs, we already, well, maybe we didn't do it in this healing. We did it in that little short video I made today. So STEBs stands for stubborn triggered energy blocks. Anything that's triggered, still triggered, is kind of stubborn at this point because we cleared so much. So put out in front of you copies of any stubborn triggered energy blocks, anything that's bothering you on any level. And just say, angels, is it healthy and gentle to clear all this right now? So angels can sort through it. And then angels, can you recycle any invasive beings hooked into this junk? And then lots of gold light, melt everybody out, melt yourself out, and melt the blocks. Do that one more time. Put copies out in front of you of any STEBs. Angels, can you check the pile? Angels, can you recycle invasive beings? Hoard it into the piles. Gold light, melt everybody out, melt yourself out. Once you get everybody out, you can blow up the blocks or keep melting with gold light until they're gone. If you have any left over, wrap it up in gold light. Give it to your angels. Angels, can you help me with all that? And then major joints, sometimes I call them tree trunk areas. So it includes above your head is the tree trunk, like as if invasive energy could come in this way and look like a tree trunk. And then this would be the root flare if it connects to any of your major joints, like your hip joints, your shoulder joints, your elbow joints, your wrists, your ankles, your knees, right? So just unblock all those areas above your head, as well as all those major joints. You want the energy there to be really flowing so that you can be there more easily. And it's harder for invasive energy that's not you to be there. Right? So, and you can do some ankle rotations or some wrist rotations. You know, a little bit of gentle stretching as you unblock your spine. Above your head. So as we wrap up, you could just say, angels, can you please help me to own my personal power? Angels, can you help me to manifest faster positive change for myself? Angels, can you help me to make the most of this coming year? Angels, can you help me to enjoy my own empowerment energy? And angels, can you help me wrap up this healing? All right. Woohoo, that's a healing. You're a rock star. Woohoo. Hey. Okie doke. So the energy healing part of this live stream is done. We will have a little brief discussion time where we discuss if you have a question or comment about the healing, how the healing was for you, or something I discussed in this live stream. But before then, let's, if you need one, take a bathroom break, and I'll do a little quick stretching. I'll turn the camera back on. You can see me do a little stretching, in case that inspires you. Although I think I might do a hurdler stretch, which is on the floor, and I might not move my camera for you for that one. But anyway, so that's that. I will take a quick break, and I will be back in a minute. Let me get rid of the camera. There we go. Back. Hello, hello. Hello, hello. Okie doke. So now I'll do a minute or two of stretching, which you could do too. Don't feel that you have to copy me. Everyone's body's different. Do whatever stretching you need right now that is gentle for you if you want. Be quick. I'm going to do that hurler stretch that's on the floor. Hello, hello. Hope you had a good break. All right. Okie doke. So I'm going to look for chat comments that I haven't read yet. Someone says, "Thank you, Jana. I feel super mellow and relaxed lately. Oh, relaxed. Lately, I've been feeling really chill about my job and move goals. I've been looking at what speed I need to be at on my job/move path, 30 miles an hour, and I seem to easily get there now with some device removal and block clearing. Am I reading accurately? Thank you." Yeah. Yeah, I think you are. I think there wasn't much still holding you back. You were one of the sample people for that fourth chakra work that we did today in today's healing. So you could maybe do a little more of that, like just redo that section or that type of work in addition to exactly what you're doing. Another thing that could be nice is the seventh layer, especially the outermost part of the seventh layer, so the edge of all your auras. It's like your first impression is that outermost layer. Like what people sense of you at first is the outermost part of all your auras. because most people aren't really fantastic readers, so they can't, like read nuance, but what they first sense, and so that's especially relevant in interview situations where people are looking over resumes, deciding who's worthy of an interview. That your first impression on a spirit level is as much you as possible. Like a lot of people tend to have like fear or some kind of energy from somebody else in the edge of their aura, which kind of messes with the vibe. So unblocking more the edge of your auras could be interesting, as well as fourth chakra stuff, as well as what you're already doing. But yeah, I think it's more of a fine tuning situation at this point. So I agree with your read on it. Someone says, thank you, Janet. I am feeling refreshed. Oh, good. I've been thinking of my sister a bunch, but now when I do, I don't feel the angry, annoyed energy that kept coming in. I think it was the fourth chakra section that and then that's it. You didn't say anything else. Or you did, but then you got rid of it. But yeah, I think it was a couple things. But yeah, the fourth chakra thing is maybe half of it. But there were some sections we did before that I think could have been, like healing the most resistant parts of you and the most joyless parts of you, like the most joy suppressed parts of you. And there was one section too about like victimy, healing victimy parts of you that are allowing oppression. Because I think the thing with your sister is between her energy and then some invasive beings that she sort of utilizes, she'll just kind of move into people's space, and so like sometimes when she enters the room, you're like, oh, you're like overwhelmed with dread and anger, and it's just because she just rolled into your space, and so we worked that a bunch, because like if you're resistant, it's more easy for someone to do that. Also, the stronger, weaker parts of you, we worked that kind of thing. So I actually think many parts of this healing might have added up to that nice shift that you feel now between, with how you feel about your sister. So I mean, you could use your intuition when you look at the healing outline and see which parts are most helpful for you to repeat on your own. But I think there's several sections that could be very nice to build on that progress. Someone says, thanks, Janet. Last couple of days, I've felt kind of jumpy or weird in a way that feels like someone is sending energy up my first or second chakra. Is that my mom or somebody else, which you gave their initials? Maybe it's a person at work and you mentioned their initials. How did my spouse do? He seems happy and relaxed. He did well. Yeah, he had there were a couple things that helped him. The mind part. There was a mind part that we did. Mind healing. Right? We did blue soak, and then we cleared blocks. That helped him. He actually was not my sample person that I talked about, who had some from their ex partner in their mind, that made their mind loop, but it was true for him too. He had some energy from his ex-wife that would cause his mind to subconsciously loop a bunch. So that helped him. The mind work, and then the there were some parts where like his joy was being suppressed. So we healed like the Mini-U's that had the least amount of joy, and that helped a bunch for him. So as far as you, jumpy or weird, typically, yeah, I do think first and second chakra related, but a lot of times there's damage that you haven't quite been able to heal, to repair with the first and second chakra, and or aura damage in the front, right in front of the first and second chakra. And also Kundalini chakra is a top suspect as well. So astral and or physical first and second chakra damage, and Kundalini chakra, which of course is physical, under the physical first chakra damage. So that's all potential suspects that you double check. Like, okay, damage. Is any of that damaged? And then any aura layer damage in front here is a possible thing that you would suspect if you felt like that kind of wiriness in front here. Of course, invasive beings, but the invasive beings are only an issue because of the aura damage and the chakra damage. Yeah, I think you had damage to physical body second, first, and Kundalini chakra damage. Your second chakra, physical body second chakra, is a teeny bit still damaged, just like some cracks. And your first chakra, teeny bit. There's like one crack left. It looks like on your right side of your physical first chakra in the front. So physical second, physical first, and then Kundalini chakra, those cracks got fully repaired. So things are mostly repaired, but do a little more repair. Have your angels recycle invasive beings in the way, and just work that repair just a little more. First and second chakra, you could do them one at a time, just so you're sure you're giving it enough attention. Astral body, second, first. They were fine and they are fine. You did have some aura damage to your, so you want to check like especially all the, of course, astral body aura and physical body aura in this area. See if you can, pat that outer surface, see if you feel any like big gashes or valleys there. Is it all whole right there? But then also all those tummy meridian, Wei Qi auras, you extra check those to see. So like conception vessel meridian, that one was fine. Kidney meridian one, that one was fine. Stomach meridian, that one had gashes, like kind of big gashes in it. Tummy meridian, which that's the one that starts under the eye, goes around here, and then it goes down and down the chest, and it's one of the tummy meridians. So that one had wax in it that are repaired now. The spleen meridian, that one was fine. So it was just the tummy meridian and then the physical second, first, and Kundalini chakra that had damage. Okay, so if that makes sense. So it doesn't really matter who it was. It was just the damage that whoever it was caused that was causing you to feel that way. Oh, I figured out who some of those initials are. Yeah. Yeah, I think it was, your husband's ex, the whack. But again, that's not why you felt jittery. It's the aftermath of it that made you jittery. The invasive beings that rush in and kind of wire you just because they can, because it's all damaged now. So, but yeah, his ex-wife caused the damage, but then she went off and, lived her life, but then it was just a bunch of invasive beings and stuff in the way of it getting repaired. All right, getting fully repaired. Someone says, twin healings are my favorite. I loved working the forward positive change, the faster positive change, to unwind our potential. in so many different techniques. I read the issue with my knees in this context, and I noticed my dad in my river. Interesting. I feel more at ease about my forward positive change. Yeah, faster positive change is what I was saying a lot. Faster positive change, but my physical issue with my knees still bothers me. I am doing gentle stretches. And how did one of your sons do during that part on gender? I think what helped him the most is the fourth chakra stuff. Because he has a lot of energy from the men in your family. Just like, this is how we are, this is what we think, this is what we believe, this is how we vote, this is, rah, rah, rah. These are our heroes, these are our villains, This is who we hate, this is who we love, So the fourth chakra section actually helped the most with that. Because it's not so much sexuality per se, it's being different in any significant way from the men in your family. It's like being different is what scares him. But he's working it. It was a good healing for him. The techniques were nice. Stronger parts turning towards the weaker parts and healing them and clearing that baggage in between them and the distortion in between them. That was really nice for him. Yeah. So that's cool. But as far as your knees, so I have that playlist. I don't know if you remember that playlist with all the meridians that go through the knees. I have a knee meridian playlist where I just picked out the meridians that basically go through your legs. So that you could check all those meridians and make sure they're red and flowing as they go through your knee, and also those auras of each of those meridians, and make sure they're strong and undamaged as well and unblocked as well. It does seem like some of those aren't so happy. For you. We look at like gallbladder meridian. So it starts in the eye, just does a lot of side of head stuff. Gallbladder meridian helps with self-assertiveness, and just in general goes through the knees. So it's relevant for that reason. So we're just watching it go down so that I can stop it at the right time in the video. Zigzags down the side of the body. I do like unblocking these points right there. Yeah, so it goes through all those points on the outer part of the knee, and that stuff really gets very blackened for you. Like that, right, those points like above and in the middle of the knee and just below the knee. By the ankle, they're just depleted of energy, but they're not really blackened so much. They're blackened like right around the knee right there. The gallbladder meridian right there. So then you look out and you notice like the gallbladder meridian Wei Qi aura is really scooped out right there. So it's missing. It's so whacked that it's not there, so it can't protect the meridian properly, which is why the gallbladder meridian, as it goes up and down the side of your knee, is all like crusty and black. So aura repair is what you'd want to do. Lots of gold fire. Have it sort of stick to all the ripped out edges and grow them back, you know. So angels, can you recycle all the invasive beings in the way of the repair, you know, and just get that repaired so it goes out more, right? And then the other meridians that go through there, like that bright green one, I want to say that is, what is the bright green one? Let's see if I rewind it just a little so I can see the tummy area. Oh, bright green, maybe that's liver meridian? Yeah. So your liver meridian, yeah, it starts getting unhappy right around the ankle. Then it gets very depleted. It's just really depleted right there. It reminds me of like well, yeah, it just looks like depleted. So let's see. So just to speed it up. Yeah, so right from the ankle on up. So your auras there seem whole, but so maybe just the meridian itself. Your liver meridian, Weiqi auras seem okay, but yeah, just right there, that whole meridian right there. Liver meridian, and then spleen meridian, that's the purple line, I believe. That one seems pretty red and flowing, a little bit depleted, a little bit like narrow and constricted. So you could, yeah, even spleen 1 right there, it looks kind of like half blocked. So then all this just doesn't have as much strength as it could. So then when it goes through your knee, it's really depleted. So it's not like blackened because there's no aura damage, but it's just like got, maybe by the time it's done, it only has like maybe 40% of the energy it needs. So just go along and unblock and repair the leaks. There's just some leaks along the way of in the meridian itself. So no, you get the idea. So just kind of go through the knee meridian stuff and see if that, I mean, it would certainly help your energy. Would it help the physical feeling in your knee? It might. It might also just make you more aware. Like sometimes body awareness leads to the fix, you know, so the energy healing leads to enhanced body awareness, which then leads to realizing the solution. Like a personal example for me, sometimes I would sleep on my side and I wouldn't realize that it was messing up one or both of my knees. Because I wouldn't feel like an immediate knee pain when I woke up. It would only be like, you know, later that afternoon or evening that I would feel like some hinges of discomfort in the sides of my knees. And so I wouldn't link the two together, that I had slept weird the night before, you know. But as my body awareness grew of my knees and all the orientation of hips and everything, then I realized I was able to put 2 and 2 together, that I can't keep sleeping that way. So anyway, hope that helps. Hope that helps. And I'm glad the healing felt good. Someone says, thank you for the feedback. Makes so much sense. Why, about your sister. Yeah. When she comes into the room, I freak out inside. I forgot how she's also involved in my mom's spiritual things. Oh, wow. And am now seeing the invasive beings. Yeah. Yeah. So that's the thing. I mean, if somebody has a big effect on you, sometimes it's also their invasive beings. Like sometimes the person themselves is very motivated to be controlling, be invasive, but sometimes, like, maybe that's not the case, but they have invasive beings in their space that just keep hyping up the conflict. So you can imagine the person and then imagine sort of like weird angry clouds above them, like any invasive beings that person has, that are kind of coming at you through that person. And just, you can say, angels, could you recycle those invasive beings? And just, you're just asking the angels, you're not directly interacting with the invasive beings, but you're just, because those invasive beings are coming at you through that person, most likely the angels will recycle most or all of them, which is nice. And that could make it easier to deal with certain people. But, in the case of your sister and some other people, she is still motivated to be as controlling as possible. So it's not like it totally solves the problem, but it takes away some of the weirdness. So good. I'm glad the feedback helped. All right. So just random life stories now. I do not have my photos ready for you. I didn't want to delay the live stream any longer than I had to. So I will try to pull up a few photos now. So there is BooBoo Kitty. That is also the thumbnail image of the 16 or 17 minute walkthrough video I made today, right before this healing. The experienced version of the 5 essentials for all my veterans who don't need all the extra explaining that I do sometimes. So that's BooBoo Kitty. Oh, she's so cute. But anyway, she's looking at me like wondering if I'm looking at her. I try to take her photo without like looking at her, because I don't want to make her uncomfortable, but she can kind of tell like I'm doing something, So that's her going, I think you're doing something. What are you doing, mommy? So that's her. And then let's see where this other photo is that I wanted to bring up. Yeah, that's a pretty good image. Okay. So, we have a bunch of trees in our backyard. We had 11 and now we have 10 because we had this one of our cedars. We still have 2, but we had a third cedar that needed to get cut down. And it was really interesting because I realized it possibly like immediately after the triplet set. And it was funny because the triplet set was about, clearing denial. It was about, healing emotions and all that, but it was also, clear denial in the way of faster positive change, or in the way of positive change or something. And so, pretty much like, I don't know if I think it was the day after that live stream, the 3 of 3 live stream, clearing denial, clearing repression, all that stuff. The angels had me go for a walk. And when I was on my way back from the walk, the angels had me look at our house, and you can see above our house all the trees in our backyard because they're the trees around here are way bigger than the houses. Like, it's like wild. The houses look so teeny compared to the trees. And because a lot of the trees in this neighborhood and in the Pacific Northwest are really, really old, like over 100 years old, evergreen trees, like cedars, Douglas firs, just really old trees. And so anyway, they had me look, and it was like, I noticed like this cedar, one of the cedars in the backyard was leaning a lot. And like it's always leaned, but like in a way that I never really particularly noticed it. Like when we had tree people come and take care of the trees and, cut down some dead limbs and stuff 2-3 years ago, they said, oh, that one's leaning, and they did some work because of that. But they thought it wasn't leaning too much, leaning as in, leaning over to one side. But all of a sudden I noticed like, oh my gosh, it is really leaning like too much. And I think it had been leaning since the last major storm we had, which was like a month or two ago, probably 2 months ago. But I was just too busy looking at all these big leaves that fell to these big limbs, tree limbs that fell to the ground. And so I didn't bother looking up to look at the tree itself. And like, because like there were big tree limbs that fell from that tree, but other trees too, in our backyard. And it was like, wow, look at all these heavy limbs that fell, And so I didn't bother looking up. But after the clear denial, healing, I looked up and I was like, whoa, that's leaning. And I went to the backyard and I was like, oh my God, that's leaning. So bam, 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 we scheduled, estimates for, what it would cost to cut the leaning cedar down and trim up some limbs on the other 2 cedars so they're not like down to the ground, and check some braces on these 4 fir trees that we have. They're like these flexible braces because there's like a grouping of 4 of them, and you don't want the 2 that are closest to the house to like fall into the house someday. So they have like these flexible little braces, kind of connecting them so they can move with the wind and stuff, but they kind of support each other that way. So you're supposed to have someone check those braces every few years to make sure they're not too tight. They're nice and they're working as they should. So that we had to do anyway. But like this leaning cedar thing, I was like, oh wow. I didn't even know if it would. I thought, oh my God, it might fall in the next week or 2. And then it's so huge. It would have fallen like into our neighbor's yard and like smashed their fence, and it would have been terrifying for them probably, and really disturbing for us. So but the tree spirits said I had like between 2 months and 2 years before the tree would come down on its own, in a very dramatic and possibly dangerous way. But anyway, so I felt like it has to happen now. Now's the time. Got to get done. So it got done. So you can see the tree guy right there in that image. That image right there that I just put up. That's the main guy of the 4-man crew that came and did the job. And here he is towards the end of it. And he is standing on one of the parts of the stump that got cut off, and he's cutting down the rest of it. And he left like, like a table height. We thought we'd make a table out of it, but it turned out the whole core of it was rotted, which, maybe explains why it leaned so much more after one storm. I mean, there's still wood there because it's a massive. There's no, if I go like that with my arms, and I have big arms, I maybe go halfway around the width of what it was. So whatever. But anyway, so now it's not there anymore. He cut it. So it was going to be a table, but since it's all rotted inside, we're going to chip out the middle of it, and I'll just use it like a planter and plant something in there. But anyway, so that was a little bit of excitement that we had in the last couple of days. Our cats got over it, but they were not amused by all the noise. Because there was all the chainsaws, and then there was like a chip truck making the branches into wood chips that was really, really noisy. So the cats were happy when that was done. So at some point I may make a little video of like a before and after and during some different shots. And if so, I'll put it on that extra YouTube channel I have just for personal life stuff called Janet's Pineapple Time. Oh, and that guy, the guy in this photo, he has his own YouTube channel. Turns out he's like a big time YouTuber. I never knew that. I mean, that's not how we found him at all, but he has over 100,000 subscribers on his YouTube channel. And he'll like live stream when they're like cutting trees and stuff. So if you want to watch some people cutting trees, you can go to his YouTube channel, Veteran Tree Service, I think is what it is. Veteran No S Tree Service. So I'm pretty sure that's what it is. He has over 100,000 subscribers. You can tell him that Janet Wright sent you. You don't have to. All right, so I guess that's all the stories that I have. Other than that, Izzy had some intestinal upset. Kind of like how he used to when we had 3 beagles, but he hasn't had that level of intestinal upset in years. But he's getting better now, so that's really excellent. We had to fast him for 24 hours, and that didn't do enough. So then we had to give him just white rice and hard-boiled eggs. They say like boil chicken breast, but it's a lot of extra work. We had a bunch of, hard-boiled eggs around, and that's fine. It's simple enough and plain enough for them. So he's been eating hard-boiled eggs and white rice for a couple of days now, like and less amounts than usual. So, but that's going well. He's getting better, so that's exciting. All righty, you guys. So that's pretty much all I have. I'm gonna just wrap it up. So that's my website. If you want to purchase March or April sets of group healings, you can do that on my website. And anyone can do it, even if I've never worked with you before, even if you don't really understand how energy healing works, that's okay. I do. So, and my email address, I'll put that on here too. Oops. If you, after you purchase, if I don't know you, feel free to email me and introduce yourself. Eventually I'll email you, but it's easier if you start the volley if you want, and just email me and say hi. And also, if you don't get my news emails on the 15th of each month, but you would like to, just email me and ask to be added to my news email list. And I don't automatically add people, so don't take it personally if I didn't add you, if you didn't ask. I just don't want to be spammy, so you have to ask to be added to my news email list. And that's just, when I put up new sets for sale on my page on the 15th, then I email everybody to say, oh, they're up and here's the theme, blah, blah, blah. All right, you guys are the best. And the next healing, the final healing for this month, final group healing that I'll be doing this month is in 3 days on Sunday, the 22nd of February, 2020. And for the full schedule of healings and themes through April, you can check out my website, jwhealing.com. There's a page called Upcoming Themes. List them all. List the themes and the dates. I'm looking for. Oh, I want my confetti. Oh, we can end with butterflies. That's fun. All right, bye. You're so amazing. Bye.